Good morning, this is Pat Walker at Mission Winners. We're doing a video of the top or the major ETFs sorted by industry group. One of the great tactics that I encourage you to do if you want to know where money is going or where money is leaving is scan the big industry ETFs. It doesn't take a long time. You can do it in like 2 minutes and you will have a much better feel in seeing where trends are developing. Trends up, trends down. So here we go. Let's take it from the top. By the way, this is a great template. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. Makes it simple. So let's do this. Here's the IBD 50. It's a great sign of overall market leadership. Got a little loose here. And again, this is the weekly. I encourage you to look at both. You look at this and you say, well, that's nothing. That's awful. But then you look at the weekly and go, oh, that's not too bad. You know, it's trending up. That's nice to see. Here's the next one. Gold miners. You can see if this takes out these tops going across here around 29.80, that could potentially be good. It's got a little bit of distribution on the weekly right here, though. So we wait for 29.80. Now, gold itself. That was gold miners. This is gold. Gold looks better. That's why we look at both. You could see these tops going across here. By the way, I'll share this. You like longer bases. Longer bases have a higher probability of working, just for what it's worth. Biotechnology, look at this. On the daily, it looks a little loose, but then you look at the weekly. By the way, you always study price and volume. Look at this, down on heavy volume, then look at that bar. That's power right there. This looks good going across these tops. And by the way, this is going all the way back to October of 2018. That's a long base, folks. Got some accumulation in it too. Remember though, it's biotechnology. Be careful. Technology, grinding up, and it has been grinding up. That's why we've been heavy in technology for a while. It's been our focus. IWM, small caps, flopping around. This is pretty loose here on the daily. Doesn't look as bad, but look at this. This is not a good bar. Closed near the lows on the weekly on heavy volume, rallied up on decreasing volume. This is not a leadership section right now. Oil services. I don't think I need to say a lot about this. Stay away. Just leave it alone. Move on. Software. We've been involved in software. Look at this. And here's why. It's hanging in there. Isn't that nice? We like this. Nice steady trend. Qs. Is that sweet? And that's why we've been involved again in big technology NASDAQ stocks. It's leading. This is good. Steel. What does this tell you? I think it says, leave it alone or it's going to test your metal. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a bad pun. But there's nothing here. Move on. Semiconductors. Technology. Look at the trend. It's going up. That's good to see. A little loose on the daily, but the trend is up. Semiconductors and software. This is the leveraged ETF on semiconductors. Okay? Grinding on up. Spiders. S&P 500. The trend is up. People say, oh man, this looks like the top. Don't forecast, all right? I really encourage you. It's an ego game. Well, this is what's going to happen. Nobody knows the future. Nobody. All we can do is get in line with what is happening. Just do that and you'll be able to see things clearer. I promise. I promise. By the way, if you notice, I have no oscillators on here. It's like, well, it's overbought. Well, it was probably overbought here and it was probably overbought here. You know, yeah, and so, oh, it's overbought, I can't buy. Well, then you missed the trend. Solar, look at that. A couple of solar stocks have been acting good. That's good volume on that. Look at that. That's power. Small caps, again, related to IWM. It's not leading. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 is leading. Small cap isn't. Oil, excuse me. What does that say? Stay away from oil. Aerospace defense. Kind of grinding up. This was a good week here, lifting across these tops, and then it followed through. You have to look and see, but the trend is up. Home builders, moving up. That's nice to see. If everything was falling apart in the world or in our economy, I don't think you'd see this doing as well as it is. That's another way to connect the dots, is if things are really that bad, then how come the home builder? Stocks, I got to share something with you. Stock price action forecast out 6 to 12 months, 6, 9, 12 months out. If this This looked really rocky before the stuff hit the fan years ago. Looks fine now. By the way, I'm not suggesting buy it. I'm just pointing out how to connect the dots. Industrials, materials, hanging in. Good lift here. No real clean pattern, but it's telling again, the economy's okay. Communication services, technology. You see the theme with technology? Software, semiconductors, communications. There you go. Energy. What does this say? Leave it alone. Oh, this could be the bottom. Why not stack the deck and just ride what's working? Financials. If things were falling apart, financials wouldn't be doing as good. All right? They're hanging in. They're hanging in. And just watch the action. It'll tell you what to do. Industrials. Nice. Steady trend. That's good to see. Technology. Going back to technology again. Isn't that nice? Just letting it work. Let it work and see what happens. Consumer staples. Nice trend. If everything looks like it, like down below the surface, things were getting rough, you wouldn't see this acting as good as it is. Utilities. Hanging in there. Kind of defensive, but it's hanging in there. That's good. Healthcare. Got a little loose right here. You can see it on the weekly. You can see it on the daily. What does that tell you? When you get loose like that, that indicates high emotions. Let it settle down a little bit. All right? Just kind of let it settle down a bit. That'll help you. Consumer discretionary. Fine. That's also saying, hey, the economy ain't that bad. Metals and mining. Nothing here. Nothing here. No money going there. Move on. Retail. Just going sideways, but look at this long cup and maybe handle this that could form. That's good to see. Now, you start seeing retail really getting killed. Maybe that is forecasting that eventually things are getting worse. But right now it's okay. It's okay. There's no problems with it. Then software right here, grinding on up. Let's see if we're back to the top yet. Nope, that's the last one. Software. And that's why we've got exposure in technology. You can see. Now, we're done looking at the ETFs. Here's the list for you, by the way. Okay, there they are. Here's something to take into consideration. Run this every day. You can run it every day if you want. I was talking, but you can run through these stocks. I guess, what is there, about 30 of them here? You can run through 30 of them in like a minute, 2 minutes, and it gives you a great feel for what's going on in the markets. If you start seeing a lot of things really starting to roll over, tells you to be a little cautious. You see things trending, says green light, keep looking to buy. There you go. Oh, by the way, now you take this a step further, you look at the leading groups, and then you find the leading stocks in those groups. For what's that worth, just to clarify, you can say, Patrick, what do you mean by leading stocks? Look for stocks that last quarter's earnings were up 40% or higher, or last quarter's sales were up 40% or higher. You don't need both, but if you have both, it's nice. Also look for stocks that are within 15% of 52-week highs, and they're over their 50-day moving average line. You will dramatically increase your investing results by focusing on stocks, companies like that. It just makes it easier. Systematize. Anyway, I hope this helps you. And hey, 3-day weekend, and that's a good thing.